me. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, doodle, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. So without further ado, let's get into it.
A few things. First off, just in terms of travel itself, I've asked all AMs, DMs, and Paul to stop all travel for the foreseeable future. So your field leaders will be in for sure to visit you, but in some cases, you know what, some inventories or visits that were planned, we've canceled them because I need everybody on the ground and staying local. That doesn't mean they won't be reaching out to you with emails and calls, but, you know, for what we're going through right now, we have to take, you know, different measures. So that's the position that I took and what I want the field leaders to follow, which I know they will.
So this is what's happening here. Everybody corporate, like field leaders, which includes district managers, regional leaders, you know, HR, LP, anybody that may be traveling, you know, corporate people, not the people in the stores, they get to stay home. They're not going to be traveling. They're going to be staying home, you know, running through emails and stuff. They're not going to be going to these stores because they don't want to be subjected to infection. Well, what about the damn associates that's in the store? That's fine. It's fine. Who cares if they're infected, right? They're not really a big deal. We don't really care about them. Let's continue.
A lot of information coming through from mall teams, without a doubt, or mall management. There's a lot of stuff through the provincial government, depending where you live, certainly the federal government every day. There's also, unfortunately, there's a lot of rumors, which doesn't help, but that's kind of human nature. That happens, especially with social media. So in terms of communication, I'd ask you to really make sure whatever you hear, you make sure it's from a valid source, provincial, federal government, myself, Paul, right, Janine's team, SSD, you know, there's going to be valid communication comes out. There's going to be just craziness.
Okay, so what he's saying right here, this guy, by the way, is the head of stores. He's over everybody. This is what he's saying. Don't listen to anything you hear, okay? Don't listen to none of it, unless it comes from our team, like the GameStop team, because they've always told them the truth and been upfront with them this whole time about everything else. It's fine. Sounds like a legit plan. Let's continue.
I know there's been a lot of questions around cleaning, hand wipes, sanitizers, and what have you. Mala, who's in charge of supplies at the office, pushing out whatever's left of hand sanitizers to you guys. She's tracking down more to come for next week. As you can appreciate with that, and also Clorox wipes, she's got more coming next week. It's very difficult to get, and she's been working real hard to get more for you guys, supplies-wise. So there's going to be more on the way. Same thing with Kleenex, tissue, paper, right, to help you guys out. And if you run into a situation you run out, you have to expense it as a store manager.
Just go buy it yourself.
You certainly can do that, right?
So, we've heard this. This is the allegation that they lied in this press release saying that they're going to provide all their stores for cleaning supplies, hand sanitizers, and whatnot. They never had any intention of doing it. Now they're saying on this call that we're going to try to get it to you next week. So, what about this week? What about the associates that's in the stores right now? This week, currently. What? So, I guess the virus just doesn't exist this week? Does it take weekends off? I know these guys have taken weekends off their whole career, you know, because they're corporate, but I don't think they realize that the virus doesn't take weekends off. They might be a little confused. So they don't have any hand sanitizer or anything, and they're going to try to get some. Apparently it's hard to get, or you could just go buy it yourself. Oh, damn, they're sold out. Well, still got to go to work.
So let me throw it open. Now, do you guys, questions, things you'd like me to address, things you'd like to bring up? Please, go ahead.
Okay, so this guy basically gave his speech about, you know, what's going on, what the climate is like. Now, this is when the associates start asking questions directly to him on this conference call. Are you ready for this?
Good. Just a quick question. Is there precautions in place in case one of the team members does contract this? And then what do we do with the rest of the staff in the store?
This guy's question is, what happens if somebody in the store contracts this, you know, virus? What happens? What are they going to do? Let's see their response.
There's there's different aspects to this. There's different ways that we're dealing with it. If we did have a situation in store where we had somebody that tested positive, of course we would take that very seriously.
Of course.
We do have protocols in place to ensure that, first of all, if that did happen, we would shut the store down. We would bring a cleaning crew in to ensure that the entire store was sanitized, certainly. And then we would look to next steps. But we do have protocols in place, and we have discussed different scenarios and what would be our course of action to deal with it. Thanks, Ty. That was a good question.
Okay, so apparently they're going to bring in a cleaning crew, which is just more associates to sanitize the store with cleaning supplies that they don't actually have, and then they're just going to continue working, the associates that's already been in contact with this person. So if somebody gets sick, they'll just be sent home, the store is cleaned, and then they just continue working. I read it on the Reddit recently. Somebody contracted it on the Reddit, and they just sent them home and just kept working. The ASM was sent home, and the other people just kept working after they already been in contact with them, which leaves their customers and their associates completely vulnerable to this virus. Completely. Again, they don't care at all. They're going to make them keep going. So, let's continue.
Hey, kind of a loaded question, but it's piggybacking off the last one here, and I think this is going to be a question that everybody wants to ask, but nobody is. But especially in my location here, about half of my store at Westminster Mall, about half of the mall is closed. With the narrowing of the hours, knowing that we've got a lot of forced isolation coming onto a lot of the people around here, we actually have a massive increase in traffic in our store. Already today, we've had well over 50 to 75 transactions, which is way more than a normal Tuesday. We have an increase in density in our store. Whether it's in the store or outside of the store, it doesn't matter. One of my associates is subject to being around those people. And when we see things like they have the choice to not come into work if they feel like they're in that position, we're seeing all these other companies offering compensation for taking this time off. I feel like we're putting our guys in a position where they have to choose between their livelihood and their personal health. I'm wondering if we've had those conversations at a high level about taking care of the people who work before us.
Oh, all right. So, this is what's happening here. He's asking if people choose not to work, or they're too scared to come in, or they're sent home, do they get compensation for it? They just asked one of the executives, which is the lady we keep hearing. She's one of the executives along with the guy. Are they going to get paid for it? What do you think they're about to say? What do you think? Let's hear it.
We have had those conversations. Again, I think each situation is unique. We're trying to provide information. However, it's not a perfect world, and I don't have an answer that, yes, blanketly we would be able to pay wages for everybody who chose not to work.
Oh! Did you hear her wording? It's not a perfect world. We can't pay everyone's wages if people choose not to work. They choose not to work. Think about that. They choose not to work. Her wording right there. They're choosing not to work. No, they're choosing their freaking life. That's what they're doing. They're choosing their loved one's life, the elderly, their grandparents' lives, because they're more susceptible to this thing. And you're saying, oh, they're not choosing to work. Sorry, it's not a perfect world. We can't pay all their wages. That is absolutely disgusting. It is disgusting. It is not a perfect world. We can't pay everyone's wages if they choose not to work. Wow, if they're choosing, you're choosing not to be here. Sorry, you're choosing it. Well, I have to pay my bills, so it's either I come in and risk my health and the health of my loved ones, or I can't pay my freaking rent. Seems like you're creating the environment for me to have to choose. Right? Let's continue.
It's an ongoing discussion, however, and I understand the concern. Believe me, I'm concerned too, as is Tim and
I'm sure
Paul
you are.
and all the leaders are. We understand the angst. We understand the concern.
Doubt it.
And we have spent
Doubt it.
all day having these discussions with store managers. So we hear you loud and clear.
Tim, Chad is 1722. Is there, just to put it kind of bluntly here, is there a point in which we're just going to put people over profits and just close the stores? Like, is this something you're discussing actively?
No, you're gonna get fired, dude. What are you doing?
There was a post on. Sorry, just one more thing. Sure. The company put up a post on Facebook today saying, "Don't worry, we're still open." And I don't know if you've read the comments, but there's like 150 comments of people just saying, "You're terrible, close your stores." I'm not saying that's what everybody thinks, but it looks like a bad look.
Yeah.
And then along that timeline, we just sort of have to go like, you know what? We just need to shut it down for a couple of weeks and be proactive about this instead of waiting until all of our associates start getting sick.
Wow. He's saying, okay, I'm going to reiterate his question if you didn't hear it. When are we going to start putting people over profits? This is a very bad look for GameStop. It looks absolutely terrible. Everybody's pissed as hell. It seems as though GameStop is totally just worried about one thing, and that's the almighty dollar, and that's it. Your loved ones, they can die as far as they're concerned. But this guy's asking, when are we just going to close it down? When are we just going to close it down? But are we going to just wait until our employees get sick? Let's see what this guy, the executive at GameStop, responds with.
Well, it's a daily conversation, and Janine and I were just on a call about it with the rest of the executive team. Yeah, absolutely. Jim was on it, and it's day by day, and in some cases, like the government saying, "Oh, keep everything open, that's fine," right? Some retailers make their own decision for their own reasons. Some are closing and not paying their associates. Some are forcing them to use vacation. All that. But
for sure, and it's definitely difficult. I just want to know that it's something that we're thinking about, right? So
it's day by day, absolutely.
Day by day.
And we're always going to be transparent with you guys. We're always going to tell you things on the up and up. And I'm telling you right now, it's a daily conversation, daily meetings, daily discussion. And, it isn't just one part of the country. We've got to look at, the whole thing, too, without a doubt. And absolutely, it's a tough time. And you know what makes it so tough is none of us have been through it before, right? And we absolutely, and this is one of the reasons I want to have these calls with you guys. I couldn't send out an email and just said, okay, here we go, right? But I needed to hear from you guys. And this feedback is all good, but in terms of closing and the hours and that, it's a daily discussion, absolutely.
So his answer was a bunch of corporate nonsense. He just said, we're taking it day by day. It's day by day. He didn't answer anything. He didn't answer a single thing. He's like, hey, what are we going to do? Or are we just going to wait till our employees get sick? And he's like, well, we're taking it day by day. So, yeah, we're taking it day by day. That was his whole answer. We're taking it day by day. He said that like 8 times. Day by day. Apparently, that's the answer. Day by day. Copy and paste. Let's continue.
Hi, this is Robin from 1767. I just have a quick question, because I know we're still taking trades in right now. Would it be okay, just because sometimes we'll bring in, like, controllers and, they're not the cleanest. Is it okay for us to refuse to take those ones right now, or, like, are we just still have to take everything in?
Uh-oh. The trade question. You guys knew this was coming. Can we not take trades, please? Because these trades are definitely going to be riddled. Okay, they're going to be contaminated. Okay, you're going to have somebody that's going to be hard up for cash because they don't, their job may have laid them off or something because of this. And they're coming in with a controller that is covered with this whole deal, this whole epidemic. It's covered all over the damn controller. It's just dripping with it. And that associate's going to have to take it. So what do you think happens then? Well, a smart company will be like, we're going to hold off for just a little while to keep our employees and our customers safe. Well, you remember my corporate contact and what they said about it. So what do you think his response is going to be? The question is, can we please not take trades, please? Let's listen.
Yeah, that's another thing we've been discussing, and I've been asked this question about that, and also, are we still going to take cash? Because apparently the World Health Organization came out, but no government has really backed that up. And they did say a few weeks back, you shouldn't take cash, you could spread it, right? And the government hasn't really commented on that. In terms of the trades, we're still going to take them in, without a doubt. Knowing that, like any other thing you could handle anywhere, But at this point, we are still taking trades in. You know, like anything else you handle, you want to be careful with it. But if
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, some people are, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Some people are really gross, and some of the things they bring in are not exactly clean at all. Like, is it okay for us to refuse those select pieces?
Dude, she's
Well,
panicking.
if something is not in a resellable condition, like any other trade, you've always had the right to refuse it.
That's not the question.
Right? If you can't truly resell that product, that's always been our policy with trade.
That's not the
right?
question.
That's what you want to take a look at it. So if that was the case and something was just not acceptable, yeah, you certainly can. And obviously we want to handle that in a professional way and say, look, I'm not able to resell that. I can't accept it.
So they will absolutely continue to take trades regardless of who brings it in and the situation. Somebody could come in completely infected with this thing. Instead of self-isolating like they should be, you know, not everybody's going to choose to just do that. They're going to go out and do things because they don't give a damn, you know, whatever. They're going to go in these stores and trade something in. And this poor person behind the counter is completely vulnerable to it. Their family's vulnerable to it. Everyone is vulnerable to it now. Does GameStop care? No. They're not going to halt their trade policy at all. They will take absolutely everything. And his defense is, well, you could catch it anywhere. And the government hasn't said that you can catch it off a controller. So we're going to keep taking them. Is the government really going to come out and be like, hey, GameStop, you probably shouldn't take trades? No, they're not. They're not going to say that. They're going to be like, hey, go damn home. They've already said that. They've already said close your stores. They've already said go home. They've already said freaking self-isolate. And they're not doing any of that. So why the hell would they listen to the government if they told them not to take trades? They're not going to. Profit over people. Right there. From the executive's mouth. Let's continue.
Dustin from 2230. Just a quick question.
Sure.
We tried to reach out to customer service today for a customer inquiry, but they had said that there was the department was closed and to reach out through email.
No, the department is not closed. I can answer that. They're not taking calls right now. The majority of the communication that they get is via email.
Oh, so the customer service, the corporate office, is they're definitely still working, she said, but they're only taking emails. I wonder why they're only taking emails. It's because they're not at the office to answer the phone because they're all at home. The corporate office is all at home. The district leaders all at home. The regional leaders all at home. The executives all at home. Where it's safe. Where are their employees at? They're all in these stores on the front lines. Why? Profit over people.
Yeah, Brandon from 896 here. Part of our hiring process is doing a reference check, and one of those questions is how does the candidate make their own judgment calls? And I think one of my biggest questions here is, as a company, what sort of judgment calls are we making? I mean, there's very specific parts of our communities that are quite vulnerable to this virus, and being open is encouraging people to come to our stores, which makes us a hotspot for transmission. It's a part of our duty as humans to make sure that we're not doing that. There's elderly people, healthcare workers, family members that are immunocompromised, all these things. I mean, with crowds standing outside of our store for Animal Crossing, even if we're not letting them in, it just seems quite dangerous for us to be doing that. What sort of judgment is EB Games doing that isn't requiring federal involvement?
His question is, what kind of judgment call, like responsible judgment calls, is GameStop making to not transmit these things? Because being open encourages people to come in. GameStop's not doing their due diligence to make that not happen. They're just keeping the stores completely open, and they're not even commenting on it. I tweeted at them, and it has like hundreds of retweets, and they haven't responded, and they're not going to. And all I did was say, hey, you need to accept responsibility for what's going on, okay? You need to close your stores and reassure your associates that they're going to be safe and taken care of. They're not going to respond because they don't have any intention of taking care of their associates and making them feel safe.
Well, that's, as I mentioned, in terms of controlling the crowd coming in, if somebody's lined up outside your store, right, and this is where with your malls, you got to talk to them, and I mentioned this earlier, right, you got to work with your malls, and sure there could be a lineup, right, and you can't control a lineup outside your store. You're responsible for the lease line in. In terms of, people coming in and still staying open, like I mentioned, it's a day-by-day discussion. Things things could change this time tomorrow.
Day by day.
I don't know, right? But we're having daily discussions on it because we're taking it serious.
Daily.
And we know, really, we're a hot location right now because with people, deciding to stay or having rather to stay home because like the kids are off or, whatever number of reasons. Hey, they're coming into our store and they're grabbing product and you know what? We're helping to make a great experience. I know you guys are. It's kind of an nature of how our business is, right? So we are looking at it, but we also know, exactly what you're saying is people are coming in and we have to be careful of that. So I think you've also, in a mall, you got to work with your mall manager in terms of control for that. And then they're willing to do that. In a strip, as I said, you have to, you've got permission to control it as it comes in. Absolutely. The other thing around, the launch Friday, people can come Saturday if you want to welcome them to do that, or Sunday, the scheduling of the pickup, I think, is a great idea.
What does that change?
We're looking at every option we can, but, you have to know how fluid this is and how much it changes. It's day to day, but we're certainly having discussions every day on it.
Day by day. So his suggestion is, tell somebody that's going to come in Friday to come in Saturday instead. So does the virus take weekends off? So if somebody has the virus Friday, do they not have it Saturday nor Sunday? Again, I know it's really hard for the executives to understand because they've never worked a weekend in their life, but the virus doesn't take weekends off. So if somebody has it Friday and you tell them to come in Saturday, they still have the damn virus. What the? Whew. This is some big brain GameStop science right here. Big brain GameStop science. I don't even know what the hell is happening right now. Let's continue.
Tim, it's Tyson 2221 again. I just have another quick question.
Sure.
So being a leader in the store, I've been getting, because of the everyday uncertainty, I've been getting staff coming up to me and they're scared. They're worried. They're starting to think that, the dollar is more important than them here. So I've been trying to reassure them, but can you guys, from an HR point of view, send out something saying, yeah, we do care. We're on top of this.
Okay. Man, this is so sad. It kind of bums me out. He said his whole staff is scared and they don't know what to do and everybody's scared. They're all worried. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what to do. Listen to how just diminished his attitude is. He's so stretched thin, you can hear it in his voice. Let's see how they respond. Okay? He said, can somebody from corporate send something out reassuring them? Because GameStop hasn't done that. They're not reassuring their associates at all that they're going to be fine or safe. And he's like, can you please do something? Let's see what they respond.
Well, I think that we already have done that. I sent out a couple of communications myself. Jim sent out a communication.
Wow.
We have another communication, which I referenced earlier, that's going out. But
that's
I think
so condescending,
they
man.
probably need to hear it from you because I think that, as a store leader, they don't work for me. They don't really know me. I mean, they've seen the communications that we sent out corporately, but really that face-to-face interaction with their store leader who can reassure them and have those conversations, especially after a conference call like this, where you can share additional information with them.
Did you hear how she said that? Well, I think we already did that. I mean, we're not going to do that again. I think we already did it. They're just asking for reassurance and you won't even give them that. That is insane, man. Insane. And then she says, you should reassure them because you're the store leader. This dude's making $30,000 a year and you're making $280,000 a year or $300,000. Freaking send an email and reassure them. You're the damn leader. What are you talking about? Well, he's the leader, so shut the hell up. You're the leader. You lead this company. These people are leaders. You're the executive team. You are leading them from the top. Send them a damn email and reassure them or close their stores and pay them. Are you shitting me? God, ooh, my blood's boiling, man. I think we already did that and you should just do it yourself. Are you shitting me? God, what a bunch of, Let's continue. I'm legitimately upset. God, it makes me so angry.
Front, you've been heard, and we're taking it away and we're looking at it and evaluating it. I don't know if anybody else wants to weigh in on that.
Well, certainly for myself, Janine, I know as a field leader group, we've been talking about everything from gratitude to just being, thankful for everything happening in front of us. I think Hannah's taken a real unique approach where I think, Hannah, you're doing some daily calls, 15-minute daily calls, where she's opened it up to every member of the team to ask your field leader any questions. I know our field group has a call after this call to talk about plans. If those are the things you need, Ty, and you have suggestions, like feel free to reach out to Rob, myself. Whatever you need from us, we can certainly do. What we don't want to do, though, is come across as fake, right?
Oh.
So if suddenly we haven't been saying anything and then all you get is the written word, it lacks sincerity or authenticity. But if you have some ideas, if people need a personal call here and there, I think we're leading through empathy in this, and that's how we'll continue. So I value for everyone on this call any suggestions we can do. So we're open to it.
I have a suggestion. Send your associates an email apologizing for handling this whole situation so poorly, and then close the stores and pay them. That's my suggestion. But you aren't going to listen to that suggestion. Of course you're not.
Hi, this is Sean from 1720. I just had a quick question, sort of related. It's kind of a bit more tame than everything else, but with the stores being on reduced hours, in situations like, for example, receipt request, everything, the emailing the head office, is head office itself on some sort of reduced hours, or can we, so we can perfectly kind of...
Not on, we're not on reduced hours. We're all working full-time hours. In fact, I think if you polled most of us, we're working extended hours.
Oh, well, good. The home office isn't closed. They're actually at home, which is what's happening. They're actually at home and just answering emails on their laptops. But if you polled them, they're actually working more hours than the people in the stores. What a bunch of jackasses, man. What a bunch of jackasses.
Anybody else?
It's Cody from
Tim, it's Joanne at 862.
Hi.
I am in a situation where we had a staff member text me, and she's going to self-isolate, and with everything that's going on, I have a few staff that are a little on edge, right? And my thought process as we talk about this is like, okay, so we go ahead, we do these launches, we're going to have mass amount of people. Has we thought farther ahead to say, I can't control people that come out of isolation to get a game, if not they're sick, because really we can't control that, nor can you. And these bigger gatherings of 50 people or more, and we're having all these people going in our store, what if people do get more of the spread and stuff happens, and like, what if more people become sick because of certain things out of our control?
Okay. It's a similar question that was before. What if people come in and they get sick because they can't control it? Like, we're encouraging people to come in. Like, what if people get sick because they're coming into our stores? Basically, what she's trying to say is, are we going to be held liable for that? That's what she's trying to say. Let's hear the response.
It's out of your control, right? It just is, and that's the same for all of us. I could go to the gas station today and use the pump after somebody who's exposed me to it, or I could touch a product that somebody touched at the Shoppers Drug Mart and, you could get it, unfortunately. So, I think the same sort of thing, we got to look at the communication, as Janine mentioned, about, self-isolation and also communicating with your field leader on it. If people are getting sick or they think they have the symptoms, they got to self-isolate. They got to stay at home, right? They got to quarantine themselves. And that's why it's important to keep communicating. But, we don't know the turnout for Friday. There's no doubt about it. It could be people who decided to stay away. There's not a perfect answer for you because it's day by day, and we got to follow the direction of the government. And this is why, Janine and I, as executives in this company, and with Jim and the other executives, are talking every day about it. So, you can take it to heart when I say that. I'm not just giving you an answer to move on to the next question for everybody. We're taking it to heart. we're very concerned about making sure we make the right decision, because you know what, there's a lot on the table for it, without a doubt. And I'm not saying that like, no, we're staying open to save money. No, we got to think of each of you, and it's you know, it's a part of a daily conversation. So
we're not staying open to save money, guys. Promise, we're not staying open to save money. Did you hear him? You can catch it at the gas station, so can't control it. You can control it. You can close your stores. Let's continue.
So Leah from 83. So this is just something that I've kind of been noticing throughout the couple days amongst like customers and other staff members, and then like even on this call, like in regards to like our company, our image, and what we're doing to participate in helping to stop the spread of COVID-19. Honestly, like it feels like we're being really tarnished, guys. Like just to like put it very bluntly, like even our customers, our staff, like everybody's very clearly scared. And I know we're saying we're not trying to encourage people to go out. We're not trying to do this by hosting like even a big game launch. Like we are trying to encourage people to come and grab it, right? Like we're doing our pre-order calls, we're doing all that stuff. We're getting people to come in and pick up. I know we're a business, trust me. I definitely understand this, but even in this call alone, I've heard you, like people said, we're a hot location, but we're not inviting people in. We can't control what people are doing outside of our store while we're monitoring how many people are coming in at a time. But by having these launches, having these situations, having these sales, we are encouraging people to sit in large groups and everything like that and come in. We're encouraging like close quarter contact. Like look at Calgary, how quickly they've jumped from just one gathering. What happens if it ends up somebody who should be in quarantine but decided that they absolutely have to have this collector's edition for the game, or their family who's not exhibiting symptoms right now comes in to grab it for them. They get a whole bunch of people infected, and then one of our locations is now a reason why so many people are sick, and there's such a strain on society and our health system. Like, what are we going to do at this point? I know it's a tough question. I know you guys are trying to do things day by day, but we have to start thinking ahead of this too.
God, she was like nearly in tears, man. God. So her question is, hey, we're inviting people in. I know you can say all you want that we're not, but we are inviting people in. That's kind of their job, is to invite people in. And people are going to be in large groups, and GameStop's directly going to be responsible for basically blowing this up. It's going to be huge. You know, they're going to be completely responsible for deaths. There will be deaths attached to GameStop's decision-making here. So, she's asking, when the hell are we going to think towards the future? Let's hear their response.
Well, we are thinking ahead.
We are.
Right? Yeah, and again, you know, this is part of the day-to-day discussion, without a doubt. And you know, I hear exactly what you're saying, but I don't have the answer for Friday right now. And this is why we're having these discussions every single day about this, because we've heard these concerns right across the board. And this is why we're having these calls, so this can come to the forefront. But we are taking it, and we are looking at every single day what our next step is.
Brandon, from I think a big question that we're all wondering is, if we do wind up closing our stores, are staff going to be getting paid?
Well, that was a very short and sweet question. If our stores are closed, will the staff be getting paid? Well, we already know what they're going to say to this.
Well, I think we already kind of talked about that. We don't know. We're discussing, in all honesty, that's part of the discussions that we've been having, and we're trying to navigate through, difficult times with really uncharted territory. So we're trying to come up with a plan of action that is going to support everybody. And certainly we're trying to make the right decisions. It's so complex, and we are doing our best. I know for some of you that's difficult to hear, because you want us to have answers for you. The truth is that we just don't have all the answers at this point, but we're working hard to get them. We all have got a lot invested in this organization and in all of you, and we certainly want to do the right thing.
She said, we certainly want to do the right thing. It's almost like they don't understand what the right thing is. The right thing is to close your stores and pay your associates. That's the only right thing. What do you mean the right thing? Are you talking about the right thing for your wallet? Or are you talking about the right thing for the associates? Because to me, it only seems like there's one right thing here. And they're not for that. So I don't think they actually know what the right thing is. I think they're talking about profit over people. Let's continue.
So as soon as we have answers and support that we can share, we certainly will do that. I'm sorry, I wish I had a better answer for you.
I just had a question, like kind of piggybacking off of what Leah had said about just being socially responsible, and other businesses such as like Fossil and like Lush have just like closed down their locations to be more socially responsible about what's going on. And like for the backlash that we've gotten for the post from EV Canada on Facebook about shutting stores down and people are just upset that we're open, are you guys gonna post anything social media wise, just saying that you've heard those concerns from customers and that, you know, we're doing everything that we can?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Just for, again, like just customers and like the backlash that we've gotten that we're still going to be open for Animal Crossing. And the communication that was posted on Facebook, it didn't have that much information besides that, like, hey, yeah, we're doing our part, but come get Animal Crossing. Are you guys going to post more or like just have a more social media presence to address this and to be more socially responsible for what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, again...
Yeah? It's Enrico from Resident Evil 1. Is that Enrico's voice? Yeah?
I'm not in charge of social media. I'll discuss it with the social media team, right? Jamie Petrillo leads that. So it's certainly, yeah, I'll talk to them about it, right? And we'll ensure the message is clear and we're doing our part, for sure.
So far, they haven't really answered any questions straight other than, no, we're not going to pay you, and we're taking it day by day, which is pretty much every single question that has been answered. We're taking it day by day. They're not answering anything. I'm shocked.
Well, I think at this point, you know, we will wrap it up. You guys can get back to your day. As you know, you've heard from Janine, Tiffany, Jeanette, Paul, myself. Keep the communication coming. And you know what? It's uncharted. None of us have ever been through it before. It's a totally different scenario and situation. And it's unnerving, no doubt about it. There's anxiety, but I just ask you to, you know, keep supporting each other too. This is a great group that reaches out from store to store, province to province. Keep doing that. That means a lot to your fellow manager, your fellow AFMs, when other people are calling to see how things are going. And keep reaching out. And again, I'll remind the field leaders on the call to make sure you get out in front and are calling and supporting your teams. We're going to get through it, without a doubt. So let's stay positive with it. Keep the concerns coming. I really appreciate the questions and the thought everybody gave to things and to hopping on the call here. And as more developments and updates are needed, we'll make sure you receive them. So I'll let you get back to your day. Thanks again, everyone. You know, be safe. Have a great rest of the day with your teams and, you know.
So that is the conference call that I was on. What do you think?